The ending of episode 1 doesn't explode with action, it creeps in quietly, and that's what makes it terrifying, just when you think season 2 is easing you back into familiar danger. The final moments flip everything you believed about safety, control, and who is really pulling the strings. This ending isn't loud, but it is a warning that the threat this time is smarter, closer, and far more dangerous than before. Season 2 of Hijack opens with a feeling that is very different from the first season. There is tension, but it is quieter. Instead of panic and chaos, the episode leans into unease from the very start. The show wants the audience to feel uncomfortable without fully understanding why. Everything looks controlled on the surface, yet every scene carries a sense that something is wrong beneath it. This slow pressure is important because it prepares us for an ending that does not rely on shock value, but on realization. As the episode moves forward, we see characters acting with confidence, as if lessons were learned from the past. People are more alert, systems feel tighter, and mistakes seem less likely. This creates a false sense of safety. The show is intentionally making the audience believe that this time, things are being handled better. The danger appears distant, almost managed. But this is exactly where Season 2 starts to separate itself from Season 1. The threat is no longer loud or obvious. It is hidden inside normal moments, polite conversations, and calm decisions. The pacing of the episode plays a huge role here. Scenes are allowed to breathe. Silence is used as tension. Characters pause before speaking, look away at the wrong time, or give answers that feel slightly rehearsed. These details may seem small, but they are doing heavy work. The episode is training the audience to stop looking only for action and start paying attention to behavior. By the time we reach the final stretch, the show has quietly shifted our focus from what will happen to who can't be trusted. When the ending arrives, it doesn't feel like a traditional cliffhanger. There is no massive explosion, no screaming, no immediate chaos. Instead, the episode ends with a moment that forces the audience to rethink everything they just watched. A decision is made, information is revealed or withheld. And suddenly the calm of the episode feels fake. The safety we believed in collapses in our minds, even if the characters haven't reacted yet. What makes this ending powerful is that it changes the rules without announcing it. Season 1 was about surviving a visible threat. Season 2, starting with this ending, makes it clear that the real danger may already be inside the system. Control no longer belongs to the people who seem prepared. It belongs to whoever understands the situation better than everyone else. And by ending the episode this way, the show sends a clear message. This time, the threat won't give warnings, and it won't look dangerous until it's already too late. By the time episode 1 reaches its final scene, the story slows down instead of speeding up, and that choice is very deliberate. Nothing dramatic appears to be happening on the surface. Characters are calm, movements are controlled, and the environment feels almost normal. But this normal feeling is exactly what makes the ending unsettling. The show wants the audience to lower their guard because the real twist is not in action, but in understanding what is being shown and what is being hidden. In the final moments, we see a situation that looks contained. The people involved believe they are in control, or at least that the worst danger has passed. Conversations sound professional, measured, and carefully chosen. No one is raising their voice. No one is panicking. But if you pay close attention, the power in the scene does not belong to the person who is speaking the most. It belongs to the person who is saying the least. Silence becomes a weapon here, and the show uses it to quietly shift control. One of the most important details in the ending is how information is handled. Certain facts are shared, while others are clearly held back. This is not accidental. The camera lingers just long enough on faces to show hesitation, calculation, and quiet confidence. Someone in this scene knows more than they are letting on, and the episode ends before anyone else realizes it. This creates a feeling that the danger is already moving, even though no one is running yet. The blocking of the scene also matters. Who stands where, who sits, and who watches from the background all tell a story. The person who seems least important visually is often framed in a way that draws subtle attention. The show does not underline this with music or dialogue. Instead, it trusts the audience to feel that something is wrong. This is a major shift from season 1, where threats were clear and loud. Here, the threat blends into the environment. Another key moment comes from a small decision made right at the end. It may seem routine, even logical, but in context, it is dangerous. That decision closes one door while unknowingly opening another. The episode ends not because the situation is resolved, but because a mistake has already been made. The characters just don't know it yet. This is why the ending feels uncomfortable instead of exciting. What makes this final scene so effective is that it reframes the entire episode. Earlier moments that felt harmless now feel suspicious. Conversations that seemed honest now feel rehearsed. The ending forces the audience to replay the episode in their head and question motivations. Who was honest? Who was acting? And who benefited the most from everyone else feeling safe? By ending episode 1 this way, Hijack makes one thing very clear. The danger in season 2 is not about reacting fast. It is about seeing clearly. The real threat is already in place, hidden behind calm voices and controlled faces. And the scariest part is that by the time anyone realizes what just happened, it may already be too late. The ending of episode 1 is not meant to be shocking in a loud or obvious way. Its real power comes from what it represents. On the surface, the scene looks calm and controlled, but underneath, it is sending a clear message about what season 2 is truly about this time. The story is not focused on physical danger alone. It is focused on power, control, and how easily people can be manipulated when they believe the situation is stable. One of the biggest ideas behind the ending is the illusion of control. Throughout the episode, systems appear stronger, people appear smarter, and mistakes seem less likely than before. This creates confidence, both for the characters and for the audience, but the ending quietly destroys that confidence. It shows that control does not belong to the people with authority, experience, or preparation. It belongs to the person who understands human behavior better than anyone else. The episode suggests that intelligence, patience, and timing are now more dangerous than weapons. Another important meaning behind the ending is trust. In season 1, trust was fragile because the threat was obvious. People knew they were in danger. In season 2, trust becomes more dangerous because the threat hides behind normal behavior. The ending shows characters trusting systems, processes, and even individuals without realizing they are being guided toward the wrong conclusions. This is a much darker type of danger because it does not trigger fear right away. It creates comfort first, then uses that comfort against everyone. The episode also explores how silence can be more powerful than action. The person who holds the most power in the final scene is not the one making decisions openly. It is the one allowing others to believe they are in charge. This reflects a major shift in the show's theme. Violence and force are no longer the main tools. Manipulation, patience, and observation are now the real weapons. The ending tells us that season 2 will punish characters who react instead of think. There is also a strong theme of consequences in the final moments. The ending is not showing the result of a mistake. It is showing the moment a mistake is made, without anyone realizing it. That is what makes it unsettling. The danger does not arrive after the episode ends. It arrives during the final decision, the final agreement, or the final assumption that everything is fine. The audience understands this before the characters do, creating dramatic tension that will carry into future episodes. Another layer of meaning is fear without chaos. The show proves that fear does not need explosions or panic. Fear can exist in quiet rooms, calm voices, and polite conversations. By ending the episode this way, the series is telling the audience that season 2 will not always warn you before things go wrong. The most dangerous moments may feel completely normal until it is too late to stop them. This ending also redefines the role of the main characters. Instead of being heroes who react under pressure, they are now players inside a larger, more complex game. Their intelligence will be tested not by how fast they act, but by how well they question what they are being told. The episode suggests that anyone who accepts information without doubt is already losing. In the end, the meaning behind the ending of episode 1 is clear. Hijack Season 2 is not about surviving a crisis. It is about recognizing one before it looks like a crisis at all. The real threat is already present, already moving, and already winning small victories while everyone else believes the situation is under control. The ending of episode 1 feels calm on the surface, but that calm is built on carefully planted clues spread throughout the episode. These details are easy to miss because none of them scream for attention. Instead, they sit quietly in the background, waiting to make sense only after the final scene. This is one of the biggest hidden clues is repetition. Certain phrases are used more than once across different conversations, often by different characters. At first, this feels like normal dialogue. But by the end of the episode, those repeated words start to feel planned. They suggest that some characters may not be speaking freely, but following a shared understanding or script. This subtle repetition hints that coordination may already be happening behind the scenes, long before the audience is meant to notice it. Body language is another major Easter egg. Several characters show small but telling reactions during key moments. A pause that lasts a second too long, eye contact that is avoided at the wrong time, a nod that feels more like confirmation than agreement. These moments are quick and never highlighted by music or camera movement, which makes them easy to overlook. But together, they paint a picture of people who know more than they are saying. The way scenes are framed also carries meaning. In several moments, the camera places certain characters slightly off-center or behind others. This visual choice suggests imbalance. Even when the conversation feels balanced, power is not where we expect it to be. The episode uses space to show who is being listened to and who is quietly observing. By the final scene, it becomes clear that observation may be more dangerous than leadership. Another important clue lies in what is not shown. The episode avoids giving clear answers about certain processes, decisions, or safeguards that should logically exist. This absence is intentional. It creates gaps in the story that the audience subconsciously fills with trust. The ending then exposes that trust as misplaced. The show is teaching viewers to question missing information just as much as visible threats. Sound design also plays a subtle role. In moments where tension should rise, the episode often chooses silence instead. This lack of sound forces the audience to focus on faces, movements, and timing. Silence becomes a signal that something important is happening beneath the surface. By the end, that silence feels heavy, almost warning us that we should have been paying closer attention all along. There are also callbacks to Season 1, but they are twisted. Situations that once meant danger now mean safety, and that reversal is dangerous. The show uses our memory against us. When we recognize familiar patterns, we relax. The ending proves that familiarity is no longer protection. It is a blind spot. Even the order of scenes matters. The episode places key conversations earlier than expected, making them feel harmless. Only after the ending do those moments gain weight. This structure rewards viewers who rewatch the episode and punishes those who assume the story is straightforward. All these hidden clues work together to support the ending. They show that the twist was never sudden. It was slowly built in plain sight. Hijack Season 2 is asking its audience to watch differently now, not for action, but for patterns, not for noise, but for silence. Because in this story, the biggest danger is rarely the one that announces itself. The ending of episode 1 does not exist just to surprise the audience. Its real purpose is to quietly lock the direction of the entire season into place without spelling anything out. The final moments make it clear that Season 2 will revolve around a very different kind of conflict than before. This time, the battle is not about stopping a single event. It is about understanding a hidden system that is already moving forward. Season 1 was built around urgency. Everything happened in real time, and danger was always visible. Season 2 takes the opposite approach. The ending shows that the biggest threat is not rushing toward the characters. It is already around them, shaping decisions and outcomes from the inside. This shifts the conflict from reaction to awareness. Characters are no longer racing against a clock. They are racing against their own assumptions. The final scene suggests that someone, or something, has planned several steps ahead. The conflict is no longer equal. One side knows the rules of the game, while the other side does not even realize a game is being played. This imbalance is what drives the season forward. Every choice made after episode 1 will be influenced by incomplete information, and the audience knows it before the characters do. Another major setup revealed by the ending is the collapse of trust in systems, procedures, protocols, and safeguards are shown as tools that can be used or misused depending on who controls them. The season's conflict will not be solved by following rules. In fact, blindly trusting those rules may make things worse. This creates a dangerous environment where doing the right thing could lead to the wrong outcome. The ending also reframes relationships. Alliances that seem stable are suddenly questionable. Characters who appear helpful may actually be protecting their own interests. The season's conflict will test loyalty not through dramatic betrayal, but through slow realization. People will discover too late that they were relying on the wrong support. Emotionally, the conflict becomes more personal. Instead of fearing immediate loss, characters will struggle with doubt. Did they miss something? Did they trust too easily? Did they unknowingly help the threat grow? This internal conflict is just as important as the external one. It weakens decision-making and creates hesitation, which the unseen threat can exploit. The ending also sets up escalation. The danger will not arrive all at once. It will build quietly, using small wins and unnoticed advantages. Each episode will likely reveal another layer of the plan, forcing characters to question past actions. By the time the full picture becomes clear, the cost of stopping it may be much higher. Most importantly, the ending establishes that Season 2 is about control versus perception. Whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. The threat does not need force if it can shape belief. This makes the conflict harder to fight because it requires clarity instead of strength. By closing episode 1 this way, Hijack makes a bold promise. Season 2 will not hand its conflict to the audience. It will unfold slowly, quietly, and painfully, asking viewers to notice the danger long before the characters do. After the way episode 1 ends, it is clear that Season 2 is not going to reveal its answers quickly. The story is setting up a slow burn where the real danger grows quietly while everyone believes they still have time, based on the final moments. The next episodes will likely focus on consequences that do not look dangerous at first, but slowly tighten the situation until escape becomes much harder. One strong prediction is that the characters will continue operating under false confidence. Because nothing visibly went wrong at the end of episode 1, people will assume the system worked. This belief will delay action. Instead of questioning what happened, they will move forward, unknowingly following a path that benefits the hidden threat. The danger will grow not because of mistakes, but because of trust. Another likely direction is that someone who seemed minor in episode 1 will become extremely important. The show has already hinted that power does not sit with the loudest voice. In upcoming episodes, we may see this quiet figure influence decisions indirectly, letting others take responsibility while staying protected. This person may not even appear threatening until much later, making the reveal more disturbing. We can also expect tension to shift inward instead of immediate outside pressure. Characters will begin to doubt each other. Small disagreements will grow. People will question decisions, timing, and missing information. This internal conflict will slow response times and create cracks the threat can exploit. The season will likely show that division is just as powerful as fear. Another prediction is escalation through normal events. Everyday actions will start to carry unexpected consequences. A routine choice, a delayed response, or a trusted procedure could suddenly create serious risk. The show will use these moments to remind viewers that danger does not always announce itself. It often arrives disguised as routine. There is also a strong chance that episode 2 or 3 will revisit the ending of episode 1 from a different angle, a line of dialogue, a background action, or a silent reaction may be revealed as more important than we first thought. This will confirm that the threat was active long before anyone noticed and that the audience was given all the clues from the start. Emotionally, the pressure will increase. Characters may begin to realize they missed something, but without knowing what. This creates anxiety without clarity, which is far more dangerous than panic. Decisions made in this state are often wrong, and the show seems ready to explore that. Weakness. By mid-season, the cost of stopping the threat will likely rise. Fixing the problem may require sacrificing safety, reputation, or even innocent people. The ending of episode 1 suggests that clean solutions will not exist. Every option will carry risk, forcing characters to choose between bad and worse. In the long run, season 2 appears to be building toward a reveal that changes how we see the entire story. When the truth finally surfaces, it will not feel sudden, it will feel inevitable. The ending of episode 1 is the first quiet step toward that moment, if these predictions are correct. Hijack season 2 will not be about stopping a hijack. It will be about realizing that the takeover already happened long before anyone tried to fight back.